What motivates somebody to do such a thing? And how can we protect ourselves?
KGW's Pat Doris picks up our story tonight live at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Pat?
Well, Joe, the experts tell me that large places like this, and I've been here with thousands of people, are almost impossible to fully protect. That means it's up to each one of us to take action. Even before the chaos began to clear in Las Vegas, Portland criminologist Randy Blazak had a pretty good hunch about the motivation behind the shooting.
They start as a desire for suicide, but a suicide that's spectacular.
Blazak wrote a book about mass shootings in 2001 and said most start with the gunman losing something: money, a marriage, their job. They typically have no social network where they can talk it out, and they snap.
We've seen this in other examples where people shoot up their workplace, or people shoot up sort of public spaces because they feel like they've lost everything and they want everyone to share their pain and screw the world, and I'm going to go out in a hail of bullets.
So how can we protect ourselves? There are, after all, tall buildings around Providence Park where thousands gather for football and soccer games, and Pioneer Courthouse Square, which hosts concerts and protests and rallies.
Going into an event and playing that what-if game over and over and over again.
Scott Castleman owns a security company and has studied the industry for 25 years. He said places can only do so much for security. We have to do the rest. He said it's important to plan an escape route every time you go to a public gathering.
It's learning to make that decision that when something happens, if there's gunfire that's erupting and it's erupting near you, making that decision to actually do something about it and not to freeze. I mean, most people that become victims is because they froze.
Finally, he said, we need to speak up if we see something odd.
I said that I think that a lot of these things can be prevented if they see something suspicious, that they alert somebody to it. But there's too many people that are like, well, I should say something, but I don't want to raise suspicion, or I don't want to scare people or alarm people.
Finally, I asked the Timbers if they had any plans to change their security in light of this shooting. They told me that fan and staff security is priority number one, but they would not talk about their security plans.